Welcome one and all to my review of the magical quest starring Disney's most famous character, Mickey Mouse. I loved the Disney cartoons when I was growing up, but my experience with their video games has been a mixed bag. The capable coders at Capcom are responsible for this title, so let's see what they have come up with. The game kicks off with Goofy and Mickey playing catch at the park. Donald is there, although I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. His buddies are completely ignoring the bad-tempered duck, who is thrusting his hips back and forth. I suppose he could be practicing his dance moves. Suddenly, disaster strikes. Mickey displays the catching ability of an England cricketer and loses the ball. Pluto gives chase and disappears. Goofy assures Mick that he will go find the orange canine, but instead opts to join Donald in some dance practice. Look at him strut his stuff backwards. Clearly a big fan of the moonwalk. So all this means that the player takes control of the topless mouse as he searches for his doggy. Early in the first stage, you'll bump into a wizard who informs you that Pluto has been captured by the evil Emperor Pete. You'd think an emperor has better things to do with his time than kidnap strays, but being a cat, I guess Pete has a natural hatred of dogs. Mickey's ensuing rescue attempt spans 6 stages which are broken down into several side-scrolling levels. The game's bright and colorful graphics are easy on the eyes. Perhaps not the best visuals the Super Nintendo has to offer, but still very good when compared to other games released around the same time. As you can see, this is a platform game. The opening Beanstalk themed stage has Mickey using clouds to jump over spiky pits, riding giant tomatoes, and battling the unfriendly wildlife which gets in his way. As with many platformers, enemies can be vanquished by jumping on them. Mickey can also grab blocks or stunned foes and throw them at hostile targets to make his life easier. For many games, those 2 attacks would be sufficient to get to the end and beat any bosses that get in the way. From stage 2 onwards, however, the magical quest decides to make things more interesting by giving the player costumes. The first item of clothing you receive is a magic turban. When wearing this, Mickey can cast magical bolts. Tap the button for a quick attack, or for a more powerful blast, you can hold down the button and charge up Mega Man style. Another neat thing about the turban is that it safely allows Mickey to travel through the underwater sections. Never again will you have to worry about drowning, as Mickey will cast a magical air bubble around his face whenever he hits the water. During the course of the game, Mickey will acquire 2 other costumes. The good thing about the disguises is that you are not restricted to using them for certain levels. You can switch between them at any time by pressing L or R to take advantage of the abilities they offer. The second outfit Mickey gets his hands on is a fireman uniform. This baby comes with its own hose, which allows the player to fire a steady stream of water. Given the fiery nature of the third stage, this tool comes in handy when facing off against the flame-based baddies. The hose has other uses too. The jet of water can push away blocks which obstruct your path and extinguish platforms which are on fire, making them safe to cross. Since I've talked about 2 of Mickey's costumes thus far, I might as well also mention the last one. Archery fans might think Mickey has dressed up as Robin Hood, but he's actually wearing some mountaineer gear. With this thing, Mickey can launch a grappling hook, which helps him climb up the ledges of stage 4. It feels very Bionic Commando-like. The hook can help the player grab blocks which are out of reach and will be mainly used to swing across large gaps. It can also be used offensively to strip certain enemies of their shields, which makes them vulnerable to more conventional attacks. Speaking of enemies, what are these things supposed to be? Walking eggs? That's to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a video game. Wait a sec. Forget what I said. I still love ya, Dizzy. Here's stage 5. What is it with platformers and their love of snow? Maybe it's just me, but it seems like every other platform game is compelled to have a level or 2 with snow and ice. As you'd expect, walking here is a little tricky, as Mickey will slip and slide. My biggest complaint with stage 5, however, is how quickly it ends. You might think you've suffered a bout of snow blindness, because if you blink, you'll miss it. You can dash through the entire thing and reach the end boss in just over a minute. It's too short and straightforward. Given the creativity shown in the earlier stages, this was a big disappointment. Thankfully, the 6th and final stage is much better. It's set in Pete's castle and offers the biggest challenge in the whole game. There are a few parts where making a wrong turn will take Mickey back to an earlier point in the level, or force him to fight a boss from one of the earlier stages. The second part of stage 6 is also rather unique. Mickey has to ride on a magic carpet, which is constantly moving. As the carpet descends down to the exit, the player has to steer right and left to avoid hitting deadly spikes which line the walls. After playing through the game, I've decided to give the magical quest starring Mickey Mouse a 7 out of 10. I would have given it an 8 had they added a few more levels, as the game isn't very long. Granted, Capcom probably didn't want to make things too taxing, as Disney titles are targeted at a younger audience. Don't let that put you off giving this game a try though. Like some of the best Disney cartoons, I think it's a title which anyone, regardless of their age, can enjoy. Thank you for watching, and take care.
Oh yeah!